just right off the bat, everything clear for you guys to even get out of town, first of all, to leave to Wichita?
Well, we're hoping. The plane that we were supposed to use was supposed to come out of Baton Rouge, and they couldn't get out because of ice. So they've got a backup plane flying from Pittsburgh here, and I think we're supposed to leave at 1 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. The flight was supposed to leave at 1, and right now it's I think the earliest we could leave is 2, but that's just dependent on the Pittsburgh flight getting here. So, this is just a mess. We don't have any water up here in the gym, so our kids can't shower here. And, obviously the bathrooms, everything is out. But there's a lot of people that don't have power. Like I don't have water at my house. I'm sure most of you don't either, or power. So we're dealing with stuff that is a little bit more important than a basketball game right now. So I don't know. I hope so, Joseph. But right now, obviously, there's plane issues we're dealing with, which is, we're at the mercy of the weather, people getting in here. But hopefully we'll be able to leave today at some point.
Kelvin, if I could follow up, you, if I'm not mistaken, I caught the tail end of your radio show on Monday night, and one of the topics was just looking at the schedule and the remaining time that you have to play games. Is it looking like, from a league standpoint, that it's probably going to be hard for most teams to get, at least from your perspective, your team, to get in a full schedule of games at this point for conference?
Yeah. Well, we're supposed to play 20 conference games. I don't know how anybody's going to get. Well, some teams may. I'm not sure. Teams is like Memphis is on pause right now. I don't know how many games they're missing, but obviously they don't have a startup date back yet, and today's the 17th. Saturday is the next Monday's the 22nd. So if they don't play any games, I'm assuming they're not going to play any games this week since they don't have a startup date. So the earliest they can play is the week of the 22nd. So you have the week of the 22nd, and then you have the week of the 1st. Those are the last 2 weeks. We're down to after Saturday. We're heading into the last 2 weeks of the regular season, and we don't have a makeup date for East Carolina coming back here. We don't have a makeup date for us going back to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's supposed to come back here on Sunday, but what's the power going to look like? What's the water situation here? There's so many unknowns, but getting 20 games in, I think is, I think that as time dwindles, I think that boat's, that boat has sailed. It's just how many can you get in? We just had games canceled. So the last time we played was last Thursday on the 11th. Hopefully we can play tomorrow night. Sunday's question mark. Next week they said maybe East Carolina on one of those days, but that's a huge question mark. The next one would be USF at home. That one, that's on the schedule. And then after that, now you have 1 week. You have 1 week left. We've got to make up Memphis at home. We've got to make up East Carolina at home, make up at Cincinnati. So it's just going to be extremely difficult to get in. I don't think we're worried about getting in 20 games. I don't think that's going to happen. Just how many can we get in? Can we get in 16? Can we get in 17? We've got so many makeup games, and other schools do too. With everybody going on pause. SMU just went on pause. Memphis is on pause. ECU is back on pause. So it's there's a little bit of a Rubik's Cube thing going on here. I don't know how you're going to solve that issue, but if we get them in, we get them in. I don't think the way this year has gone, and then you just kind of put an exclamation mark on it with, what's happening here in Texas with the weather. People are suffering, cold with no power. People can't live normal lives without water. So it kind of diminishes the importance of playing basketball games right now.
All right, Coach, thanks.
We'll go to Mark Berman, plays with Fox 26. Mark, go ahead if you have a question.
Kelvin, how have you made it all work, getting your players' work practices and workouts in, given the weather and what's going on at your place?
Well, we've been out without power. Today's the first day we've been back in here. What is today, Wednesday? I think the last time I was in here was Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. So we were out, we weren't in the building at all. So we had to move everything from the locker room here in the GVL, which is our main locker room. It's where, this is where our base of operations is. We just had to move everything over to Fertitta. We had to watch film over there. The shower, the water's out, so nobody could shower. There's no water, but at least we could get in the gym and practice. We couldn't, can't do anything here. But the great thing about the practice courts, you have 6 baskets. Then we go over to Fertitta. You just have the main court. But, we make it work. No complaints. It's just the way it is. You just have to do the best you can with the situation you have. There's nothing else to say about it. It's tough, but I just tend to always think about. There's a lot of people off with a lot of people with situations worse off than we are. That's for sure.
Kelvin, as far as the game, is Wichita State playing as well as anybody right now? They're 6-1 since you beat them. They've won 4 straight.
Yeah, they're playing really good. Well, they've got a great backcourt. The thing that helped them was getting the starting point guard from Connecticut. He's a senior, he's a veteran. He's played in big games. When you think about Tariq Gilbert, NTN, and Dexter Dennis, that's as good a backcourt as anybody we've played. The Udeze kid's really improved. He's thrown in some really big games since we played him. The Wade kid. Wichita State's always been a great program. They've won. Everybody talked about the kids they lost. We've all been in those situations. Shoot. Chris Harris, Caleb, Fabian, and who's the other starter? Nate. We've lost a bunch of kids. They lost a bunch of kids. UCF got hit hard. It seems like everybody's had transfers, but I can't say enough about the job that Isaac Brown has done at Wichita State. To get those kids to buy into him and his staff and the way they want to play. You can tell there's a big difference in Wichita State this year. They play hard, and that tells when teams play as hard as they do, that tells me that there's tremendous amount of respect for their culture, the coach, Isaac, and his staff. Tyson Entienne's a prolific scorer, Dexter Dennis and Gilbert. I think Gilbert's shooting 42% over his last 4 or 5, maybe in that stretch you just talked about, Mark, 6-1, shooting about 42%. Dennis is, I think, made two threes in his last 3 or 4 games. Wade, I like him at the 4, and then they've got those kids, young kids coming off the bench, so they're good. It's a good team.
Kelvin, is there an update on Fabian, how he's doing? I know you've told us several times that decision will be made by the doctors and his parents. Any update on that?
No.
We'll go to David Nuno, please, with KTRK. David, go ahead, sir.
Kelvin, I know you mentioned that there are some bigger things out there in this world that we're dealing with, but just how have you guys been able to keep so resilient through all the things we've gone through here the last 12 months?
I just think being consistent with our message to them every day. You know, we've got some veteran guys that, you know, Fabian's in his 4th year, Justin's in his 3rd year, Bryson 3rd year, Dejan in his 3rd year. And I'm able to coach the team through the veterans. You know, everybody gets treated the same in this program. We don't have hierarchies. We don't have levels. You know, we just have Cougar basketball. You know, be on time. We're gonna hold you accountable for your effort and your attitude. Freshmen usually struggle with that, but the veterans are the ones that will right the ship for us. But I think that all good programs at every level, doesn't matter. Men or women's basketball, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, lacrosse, track, what doesn't matter. If your foundational program is built on discipline, I think that's what, you know, after a while, people take for granted success, but it's hard to be successful every year. It's not easy. It's hard to win games. But if you don't have a foundation that's built on discipline, it becomes almost impossible. And then when you hit adversity, whether it's Hurricane Harvey, COVID, ice storms, power outages, water, you know, that's called life. You know, it's life. It's the way it is. You know, there's no excuses. I don't let our kids use excuses. You know, there's 2 things you can control in your life every single day. That's your attitude and your effort. If you can control those 2 things, then you're going to be successful, or at least you have a great chance to be successful. But if you're always looking for excuses, you're always pointing the finger, then your chance for success becomes minimal. And we just don't allow that in this program.
We'll go back to Joseph Duarte. Joseph, go ahead, sir.
Kelvin, the other day on the bracket reveal, the selection committee said that their hope was to preserve the integrity that all the conferences play their conference tournaments and go forward. Has there been any discussion with the American about whether altering, if there needs to be any type of changes, or is that, to your knowledge, still going on as planned?
To my knowledge, Joseph, it is, they floated some ideas at us, and my thought process is very simple. You know, we're part of the American Athletic Conference. On our schedule, it says after the regular season's over, the conference tournament starts on Thursday. And based on your seeds, this is when you'll play. And if you play the first day, then the teams that don't play the first day that get a bye, they'll play on Friday. That's the way it should be. You know, we're part of the conference. We don't sit here and say, well, you know, we think we got a good chance to make the tournament and we don't want to mess this up. No, that's not what it is. We have an obligation to play in this conference tournament because we're part of the conference. We're the same as, there's 11 schools in our conference, and to me, they're all the same.
I don't see any more questions hands raised in the chat. Does anybody else have any questions for Coach Sampson? Is everybody good? Anybody?
Kelvin, can I just make sure on hey Jeff, can you hear me?
Yes, you're going in and out a little
Jeff?
bit. Go ahead.
No, Coach, I just want to make sure. So basically, in terms of Sunday's game, depending on the water situation, that's sort of why that game would be up in air, right?
Yeah, that, and just being able to, I don't know how many millions of people are without power, water. I know we don't have water at our house. Our power's, Kellen's power's been out. Lauren's power's been out. Alvin doesn't have water or power. I mean, Quantas had to take his family to a hotel. He didn't have power or water at his house. I feel bad for these families that have young kids doing this. So, you're just dealing with a lot. But, if we were to play a game here tonight, we'd have to cancel it because we don't have water. That means the hotels don't have water. So how are you going to get a team in here to play? Hopefully by Sunday we have a resolution and we can be good to go. I haven't looked at Cincinnati's schedule. I don't know. I'm assuming they play this week. I don't think they played last night. I'm not sure if they play tonight or tomorrow night. But we played them Sunday, so that means they'll get in here Saturday. So this needs to be resolved by Saturday for them to get in. The other option, and you always think a step ahead, is if we have to postpone it, when do you play it? The existing current schedule is pushed back because of all the makeup games. But every conference is going through this. Every coach is going through this. And there's nobody unique to the situation. It's just you deal with it with the best you can, and just kind of move day by day. This is literally a day by day situation. I saw where Roy the other day, one of his staff members put on Twitter or whatever social media site it was, need a home game. If you're interested, call us. If we get a bunch of games canceled, we may have to add a game here or there. So this late in the season, there's some low majors, mid majors, whatever that would just like to play a game. We're allowed to play 27. Some schools may only get 15 in or 20 in. So you can play a game. If we need to play a game, we'll play a game. We'll play anybody. We're not going to travel, obviously, but if we get if we get a bunch of games canceled, I don't want to go 15 days without a game this time of year. We were supposed to play Memphis at home Sunday, and then ECU coming up. Both those games look like Cincinnati game obviously got postponed. So instead of playing, getting in the rhythm, playing Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, Thursday, Sunday, you're going Thursday to Thursday, and then Thursday maybe to the following Sunday. That's this time of year. It's just difficult to, keep your team in rhythm, and that's what. If your team's going to get better, it can't get better. Practice this time of year is not about getting better in practice per se. It's just staying sharp and adding things or preparing for the next team. Shooting, keeping kids' confidence. But the way you get better this time of year is play games. That's where last time we played was against South Florida. I think before that we played the NAIA school, but our guys didn't play in that one. So this has been like other teams, we all have tough stretches. But the uncertainty, I think, is what weighs on you with your teams is when do we play? Well, it looks like this one's going to get postponed. Okay. Who do we play next, and how can we reschedule that one? So it's just, something we just have to figure out as we go.